Welcome to SoleCoach the Podcast. My name is April, also known as a Soul Coach. I give you the tools you need along on your spiritual path. We are in season 9, episode 4. And let me tell you, this is about how you can restart your life. This program that I created back before COVID is what shifted me and a lot of my clients into really moving the needle forward in their life. It's not about being selfish. It's about self-awareness and putting yourself first. Let's get started. Hey guys, so I'm so excited that you decided to rock with your girl. Like I told you before, this podcast has been all over the place, but I am here this year to really solidify my voice in the spiritual community. With over a decade of healing from Reiki Master, hypnotherapy, to certified life and business coach. I've been doing this since 2014 and I got awakened in 2007. So this is not new to me, but I am probably new to you. And all I know is that I am following in my purpose. I am a vessel. This is not about me personally. This is about me being a vessel to help heal people. Like I've mentioned before, I didn't want to do this. I just want a regular life, just to be regular. But God has bigger plans for me. Divine has bigger plans for me. And I'm stepping into that right now. This week's podcast, I have notes because I needed to write notes. Perimenopause is kicking my ass. Okay. Woo. Okay. Because I will forget. If my train of thought to be all over the damn place, y'all. Let me tell you something. So this week, I want to break down my 8-week coaching program to reset your life. And I have worked this program for myself, and I have done this for many clients. I've had this program, like I mentioned before, since COVID. But before I get started into that, I want to tell you why I even started the program. I started this program because I'd worked for a luxury brand for years. I made a lot of money. I made a decent amount of money. Let me just say that. Okay. The benefits really were outrageous. And I found myself drained. I felt myself lost. I had a boss that couldn't handle my power. I had to dumb myself down around him. Uh, I had people that I've helped backstab me. People I've given jobs to, people that I fought for, backstab me because they were envious of the position that I was in. They thought they could do a better job. My boss really worked on my self-esteem. And you know how it is when you're a Black woman working in corporate America, how white men really can't handle your power. So they try to deplete it. They try to make you second guess yourself, and that's what he did. But he also pushed me on my journey, because if it wasn't for him being who he needed to be in my life, I wouldn't be here right now. I'll still be working as a GM in a luxury brand and retail, and just wasting my talents on somebody else being a multimillionaire. So fast forward, I'm 40, right? And I'm 36 years old when I had my son, and I quit right around 38, 39. And I just was lost. When I say lost, I was like, I've been working for 20 years in corporate America for different great companies that I work for. And I was like, so what are my skills? How can I make myself wealthy based off of the skills that God gave me to use to be a service to other people? And I struggled with that for a while. Over 300,000 Black women lost their jobs this year, and a lot of that demographic is starting their own business. And the reason that they are is because they had the realization that I did back in 2014. Like, why am I continuing to make these companies millions and millions of dollars when I know that I can do this for myself? But I didn't have the right structure when I started. So what did I do? I went back to school, right? I started gathering all the knowledge that I needed to. But knowledge not applied is, I mean, what can you do with it? Because I had all this knowledge, but I wasn't applying it to my life or to my purpose. And I continued to doubt myself. I never doubted myself when I was in a job, when I had a W-2. I never doubted myself. But when it came to me, the little girl in me kept showing up. And when I say the little girl in me, it was little April. And maybe that's you. The little girl in you keeps showing up, and you self-sabotage because you have this worthiness. Like, maybe I don't deserve to have my own business. Maybe I don't deserve to be a six-figure business. Am I there yet? No, I'm not. I'm not one of these coaches that's like, I made $100 million and da da da. I'm not Coach Stormy. Okay, I'm in here in the trenches along with you. However, I have all this knowledge, and the clients that come to me, I shift their lives in big ways. And it's a beautiful relationship between me and my clients because I get something for them and they definitely get a lot from me because I care about them winning. So I'm going to share one success story of a client of mine. She opened up a store in New Orleans, and I helped her with her branding. I helped her with her positioning. I helped her with just really owning her brand, right? It's easier for me to do and teach than for myself. And that was like my first big client. And she paid me over $1,000 for my coaching, which was my first big coaching contract. And I was just like, I've got to make this work. I've got to make this work. So what I did is I utilized her as my avatar for the 8-week coaching program. So with her, it was bigger than just here's 8 weeks. We're going to go through 8 weeks. It was about her talking to her younger self and saying, hey, you deserve this. The belief systems that we have in our head from childhood definitely manifest as an adult. And we carry these beliefs systems in our body. We hold so tight to these belief systems, and it blocks us from being everything that you desire to be. So what happens, right? For me, I kept self sabotaging. Every time I get to a certain point, I'd be like, whoa, this is too much. I don't think I deserve it. My nervous system is shot. I don't believe in that I can do this, so I quit. And then I self-sabotage. And I kept going through this cycle over and over again. So what did I do to self-sabotage? I actually told myself, what does your life look like? What would your life look like if everything went right? I've been building on that ever since. Have I fallen a million times? Absolutely. But I had $0 in my account and I opened up my first apothecary. Zero. And my spirit team said, you need to trust the process and allow us to guide you. You cannot be in control. You have to allow us to guide you. You listen and you obey. But when you get in your own way and you hold on to things so tight, and that's just who we are as Black women. We stand on our 10 toes, okay? Because who else is going to come save us? Nobody. Nobody's coming to get us. Okay, so what we do is I'm independent, we're hyper independent because all we could ever do is rely on ourselves. I had to break that belief system. I had to break that belief system. I'm going to tell you again. I had to break that belief system. And as a coach that's been doing this for over a decade, I'm telling you right now, I kept getting in my own way because of my belief systems of you got to work hard to make money. That is a belief system. That is not true. I know clients and people that work 4 hours a week and make $100,000 a month. Now, is that realistic? Absolutely not. But it shifts your mind to think that, hey, I don't have to work like a dog anymore to get the things that I want. So how did I get here at the 8-week coaching program? Well, I was thinking about what creates a habit. And everybody knows 21 days creates a habit. And you do 7 days at a time. And that is what I teach my clients. Do the first 7 days. Do the next 7 days, that's 14. And keep going, right? Until you to get to 21. And once you get to 21, then it is in your subconscious that this is what you should be doing. And I said, well, let's do it for 4 weeks. And then I said, no, we need to do it for 8 weeks, because I did have a client that I only did 4 weeks with, and it didn't seem like it was enough. Because we're breaking generational contracts and curses and behaviors and belief systems that you've had since you were a child. And that's not going to be something that happens overnight. I also tell my clients to find a therapist. Okay, because I think both go hand in hand. Finding the right coach and finding the therapist goes hand in hand, because the therapist has a different point of view than the coach. Because I'm not a therapist. I don't have the alphabet behind my name, but I do have a certification to allow me to notice and see, like, maybe this person needs additional help. But breaking down those belief systems and breaking down not only belief systems, but when we start living life, right? Things happen to us. Trauma responses. That's what I was trying to say. Trauma responses, right? Especially when you're in relationships or you're a heterosexual woman and you got to deal with these men. Okay. Well, I gotta do my hair. You're gonna have some trauma. Okay. And so we work through that. So that's why I picked 8 weeks. So going back to my very first 8-week client, she had the store in New Orleans. She quit. She closed that store, and then now she lives abroad, and she is living her life the way she wants to. And when I say the way she wants to, unapologetic. And she said, "You're my very first coach. You shifted my mindset to the point that I know that I can do anything. I want all my people to feel that way. I want everyone to feel that way. People always come to me when they want to feel better." And I had to start cutting that off because I had to start setting some boundaries. But I was so easy to give, and it was hard for me to receive. And now here we are with the 8-week coaching program. So this 8-week coaching program is a reset, right? This is to reset your life. And it doesn't matter which age. And especially if you're 40 and up and your kids are out of the house, or you got terminated from the career that you spent 20 years building, whatever the case is. 2 months, 8 weeks, you can shift your life if you do the work. If you don't do the work, you will stay stuck. And also, I use my gifts as a seer to connect to your spirit team, to use me as a vessel to things that they've been trying to get to you that they couldn't. So not only are you getting a certified life coach, but you're also getting a seer and a psychic medium that can tap in to your spirit team to tell you what you need to do, but you need to obey what they're saying. You need to obey. So what is an 8-week program? And then what do you do on an 8 weeks? I'm gonna break it down, right? So week 1, we talk about what is your ultimate goal. What is your ultimate goal by the end of the 8 weeks that you want to accomplish or have accomplished by the end of the 8 weeks utilizing me? You have me complete access to me. You get a phone call a week. You get homework. I give you space to do anything, but if you have questions or you need anything, I give you words of encouragement. I see where you're at. I might pivot a little bit depending on where you're at on your journey, but 8 weeks with me. I have limited spots because I do not want to overwhelm myself with too many clients. That's not my job. I have an apothecary. I can, that's just part of it, right? I want to continue to create products, but I also want to make sure that I am giving my clients 100% of me. So the spots are always going to be limited. All right. So week 1 is about the ultimate goal. You have to tell me what you want to accomplish in the 8 weeks. I can't tell you that. Okay. What do you envision yourself what you want to feel, what you want to be, how you want to do at the end of the 8 weeks? Week 2, we talk about a wheel of balance. It's an exercise where I look at your life at a snapshot. And you decide what areas of your life that's a 10 and which area of your life that's a 0. In order to make the wheel go round, you've got to balance it out. And we're not going to always be 10s in every aspect of your life. But if you have like a 6 here and a 10 here and a 3 there or whatever, I'm able to look and see where you're at and how you can shift it forward. The most important thing that I've learned for myself is creating a daily routine. When I do not have a daily routine, that is when shit goes awry. Okay. When I'm just out here winging it, that's when there's no focus. You wake up and be like, okay, what I'm gonna do today? That's no good. Or get into the cycle of I gotta get up, I gotta go to work, I come home and I do the same thing over and over and over again. Then maybe I have a moment of clarity over here, or maybe I get to see my friends, have a few drinks here. That's not living. That's not living. What you have to realize is that life is to be lived. So creating a daily routine not only keeps you disciplined, but also gets you in the energy of being the person you want to be. I'm a Leo and I have lazy times, and I'm okay with that. I used to be one of those because my rising sign is Capricorn. I work like a dog. And I was just like a hamster in a wheel. Not taking a moment to smell the roses, not taking a moment to spend quality time with my kid, not having the structure in my life to pour back into me as much as I was giving out. So we talk about that in week 3 about creating a routine that not only allows you to have time for yourself, but to also accomplish the goals that you set in week 1. So week 4, depending on what you decide in week 1, your ultimate goal is, and we're going to circle back into what it is that you want to achieve after you've done a wheel of balance, and then also creating those routines in week 4, we're going to see like what kind of action you're going to take. Let's say, for example, you want to write a book by the end of or get the wheels rolling on writing a book, or have the book and start it at the end of the 8 weeks. What are you doing about that? We're going to have tangible things that we can do together, because this is a partnership, so that you can get your book published or written or started by the end of the 8 weeks, whatever that goal is in week 1. We're going to talk about that and put into action the things you say you want to do and actually do them. And I'm here to support you, because a lot of people don't have that support. Because like for me, I had nobody. Okay, it was just me and my kid. And the one person that did have got sick and can no longer be that backbone for me, and that's okay. But that's not okay. I miss him terribly, but he had a stroke. And I have not been able to talk to him in 2 years, and my heart's broken behind it. But regardless of the fact, is that you have a cheerleader in your corner that wants you to win. And that sometimes just having that little push goes a long way. So like I mentioned before, in week uh 5, we're going to talk about standing in your power. So what does that really mean? Standing in your power. So many women of all races have a hard time being in their power 100% because we're taught that if we're direct, if we are, masculine leaning, then we act like a man. When men are assertive and men want things done and you're hyper independent, you act like a man. I'm going to be exactly what I need to be to get the things done that I need to get done, and I don't care what you say about it. Okay? We're going to talk about the belief system of standing in your power. What does that look like for you? What did your parents raise you and teach you? What is your relationship with your mother? Because that's important. Okay, what did she show you, or people or women in your family, about standing in a power? My father's side of the family, the women were very highly educated. They were gorgeous. And they always married and dated the wrong man. Every single time. And it cost them. It cost them. I've been engaged twice. And I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna work. This ain't for me. And I'm not saying I'm never gonna get married. I'm just saying that man has to be someone that is going to allow me to be in my power and not put a blanket on me to smother it because he can't handle it. And I'm quite sure a lot of you understand and feel that. So week 6, moving right along, it is about manifestation. We have all these different manifestation techniques that we do, and you have to find what's right for you. 369 method, visualization, scripting, whatever. I'm going to give you different options, and we're going to dive into which one works for you. For me, I do candle magic. That's what works for me. For me. It might not work for you, but like I said, I have an apothecary, certified life and business coach. I have all these tools because I was gathering all the tools because I was scared to show up for myself. I was scared to put myself in front of the camera. I was like, I had to be perfect. You know what I mean? I want to get veneers. And I was like, maybe I don't need to do that. That's why I'm going to hide behind a camera. I cannot do that anymore. No more. And neither can you. You look for your imperfections within. And people are listening to the words that are coming out of your mouth. They're not paying attention to the imperfections that you have. And I had to learn that for myself. So manifestation works with the belief system that you have for yourself. Do you believe that you deserve that Porsche? Do you believe that you deserve that house on the lake with the golf course? Do you believe that? Do you see yourself or envision yourself there? That's a part of it. So we're going to talk about that in week 6. Week 7 is very important to me because I talk about your connection to divine and whatever that is. As a coach, I meet you where you are currently at. It doesn't matter if you look Christian or if you're an atheist or if a Buddha. It doesn't matter. But whatever it is, you have to own it. If you are a Buddhist, then you need to be chanting every morning. You can't chant one week and don't chant the other. If you're a Christian and you pray to God or Jesus, whatever you believe in, then you need to be consistent with that belief system. For me, I'm just spiritual, right? So I know that when I pray to divine, that's divine listening to me. When I meditate, divine is telling me to quiet my mind so I can get the answers every morning and night. I pray. And sometimes during the day. But that's my part of my spiritual makeup and habits. I have an altar. I pray over my altar every night. Like, those are different things that I do for myself. So you have to decide what you're going to do. But whatever you do, it's got to be consistent. You can't be praying one week and not the next. If you're a Christian, you believe in God. If you go to church, that's fine. You don't have to go to church in order to be a Christian. You can have church at your house. But are you reading your Bible? Are you studying? What is your religious beliefs, and how are you going to continue? Because I'm going to tell you right now, whether you believe in God or not, nothing in your life is going to manifest unless you have God behind you. And God is not only behind you, God is within you. Okay, so the God in me, the God in you has to understand that you have to be consistent with your belief system. And we talk about that in week 7. It's the most important thing. That's why I waited to the end to talk about that. And lastly, week 8 is all about action, action, action. We're going to review the 7 weeks that you spent with me. We're going to go over the homework that we, talk about, because each week you have homework. It is your time to tell me, before I let you off in, like college, how you have your kids go off for school. It's like, here I am. What do you need to do and utilize me while you have me? What actions are you going to take when I no longer am there to be your coach or to hold you accountable? How are you going to hold yourself accountable? Do you have an accountability partner? Because the healing, the work doesn't stop just because the 8 weeks is over. And I think that this is a very important piece of the pie, because if you want anything to change, you have to do the work. Because one of the things that I find is hard for me with, some of my clients that I've had is that, hold on. It's hard for me to let a client go when I feel that I've given 100% and they still are going to go back to their old ways and behaviors. That to me is heartbreaking, because you cannot continue doing what you've been doing and expect a different result, right? So what you have to do is you have to do the work and really push yourself outside of your comfort zone in order to make the change. You have to. That's the only way it's going to work. And if I am tapped into your spirit team and they're saying, hey, you need to go this direction, there's a light at the end of that tunnel, but you have to jump. And I know it's scary. I know it's something that you don't want to do, but it's something you have to do if you really want to change. You can't continue doing the same thing you've been doing and expecting to change. That's not how life works, and that's not how change works. So that is the 8-week coaching program. So as I wrap season 9, episode 4, I want to take a moment to give you some words of encouragement. So I want to give you some words of encouragement during this trying times that we're having right now, especially in the U.S. as a Black woman, or woman, period. Everything on the outside in this 3D might seem like hell on earth. We have the patriarchy that is tearing it down. The system is going to be burned down to the ground, right? And it's up to us as women to lead, because we're next up. This is what I feel. All right, this is what I see. This is what I get. We are about to be the ones that's going to be in charge. And even though things might seem bleak at the moment, but it's only temporary. And it's all about what your thought process is during this time. So let's sharpen your skills, invest in yourself, and make the change that you want to see. Thank you so much for listening to SoleCoach Speaks, the podcast.